Paige Hanson is with us on the Talk Back this evening, and she is the manager of educational programs for LifeLock. And you're here because you've recently been talking to law enforcement in Norwalk about identity theft and scamming. And there's a big one out there. We'll explain what this information, with this these gizmos here in a couple of minutes. But what is happening out there that people really need to be looking out for?
Well, the top scams that are happening are really the scams that are kind of too good to be true. You get a letter in the mail that says you've won a certain amount of money. Maybe you need to submit a certain amount of information about yourself, and they'll write you a check. All of these scams that they sound legitimate, and that's what's happening. Whether it's email, phone, maybe mail, you're getting all of these. They're working on all different types of angles to try to get you to give your personal information, and then they're going to use it against you.
What about the one that's I'm the Nigerian king, third generation, I need you to send me $500? Are people still giving into that scam?
They are. Still people are, they want the things to, happen, as far as money goes, And so, yes, it's still happening, but they're just getting better at it. They're not sounding so scammy, They might not be the third generation prince from Nigeria. It might actually be a legitimate company from the United States that's trying to, they're sounding like they are, maybe a legitimate company here in the States, so maybe you might put your guard down just a little bit. So, yeah, they definitely are happening.
So, you brought this with us today.
I did.
So what is happening with credit and debit cards that people really need to watch out for?
Well, what's happening, and what you'll find here, this is called a skimmer. And this device is most commonly found in restaurants. So the waiter or waitress might hold this inside their apron or maybe their boot. And so when you go and pay for your meal, you generally leave your credit card for them.
Yeah, just put it in the little
slot. You put it in the slot, right,
and
they're gone, 3-4 minutes. So all they have to do is swipe your card just like this in the device. It's now captured your credit card number.
That device
This device. Yeah, and it holds about 1,000 numbers. We bought it online for about $500. And so now what's going to happen is there's many people that may come to you, or maybe you've heard of, that say, my credit card is still in my wallet, but I have charges that, I didn't make.
Right.
You could have been a victim of a skimming scam.
So is it the waitress or the waiter that's doing this, or is there somebody putting them up to it?
Generally, it's somebody putting up to them. Maybe an identity thief approaches them and knows they are a waiter or waitress at a busy sports bar or restaurant, and they approach them because they know, hey, I'll give you $50 for every card you swipe. Well, that could be a pretty lucrative business for the waiter or waitress that's
20-something, you're 20-something, you're looking
exactly.
Okay, so what do I need to do if I'm just giving my card to the waiter or waitress? I'm trusting them. It sounds like I might not necessarily be able to do that. What do I do to protect myself?
It's not always realistic, but use cash in the instances that you can. If if it's kind of a place, maybe a dive bar, so to say, that you might not trust very,
right.
Use cash. But that's you can't always do that. So us as consumers, we need to make sure we're checking our statements. Keeping your receipts, checking your statements, making sure each statement corresponds with your receipts. Because the minute, you can check online now. I mean, you can go online, check your bank statement, check your credit card statements. Right. Just make sure, because if you notice any charges that aren't yours, that's when you need to report it immediately, because then they'll, stop the card, reissue a new one, and, then you're better off.
So is it better that I use debit or credit? Because debit, it comes out of my account quicker. And if that waiter just took my number, they took my money too.
That's right. Great question. We recommend that you use a credit card versus a debit card because of that reason. If your bank card or your debit card gets compromised, could you imagine if they drain your entire bank account? I
don't want to, but yeah.
Exactly. Your mortgage is still due. It takes on average about 5 business days for your money to get back into your account because they need to do an internal investigation.
For my debit card.
For your debit card.
Okay.
So, but your credit card, you have 60 days to report the identity theft that happened or the fraud that happened on that card. So, more than likely, after they do their investigation, they're going to reverse and put those funds back in, credit your statement. You don't have to pay your statement for 28, 30 days.
Yeah,
and so it gives you a little bit more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, some good things to watch out for, Paige Hanson. We appreciate your time on the Talk Back, and that is your Talk Back.